affordable. Electricity from coal does that for me.
USA Today says workers in some federal agencies are more likely to die of natural causes than get fired. I kid you not. The federal government laid off less than 1% of its workers in the last year, while layoffs abounded in the private sector. You know all about that. Don't forget taxpayers pay these workers' salaries. Time to let the Willis watchdogs out. Yu-Dee Chang is the chief trader and sole principal of ACE Investment Strategists in D.C. Amelia Antonetti is the chair and CEO of AMA Productions. And Andy Levy is an ombudsman for the Red Eye on the Fox News channel. Amelia, let's start with you.
Oh, I lost my mind when I read this article. And this is my best part. Okay, nearly 500,000 make over 100,000, and it's a 99.8% retention rate. Hello. Any of my employees would love this.
All right, Andy, what do you say?
Well, back in 1789, Ben Franklin wrote a letter in which he
Where are you going
in which
with
he
this?
said,
Right.
if you would let me finish, ma'am. He said, our new Constitution is established and has an appearance that promises permanency, but in this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes. He would probably be shocked to discover that 222 years later, we can add federal workers' job security to that, mainly because he'd probably still be shocked that he's still alive. But this isn't surprising. Bureaucrats protect bureaucrats. That's one of the things they do. You've got HUD spokesman Jerry Brown saying the reason they've got a 99.85% retention rate is because all their workers are skilled and committed. I mean, this is that he can say that with a straight face.
Look at Amelia. She's losing it.
Other than Fox News and Fox Business, that's not true of anywhere.
Good point, and well said. Thank you for that.
Very much.
Yu-Dee, what do you say?
Well, to be exact, only 0.5% of the 2.1 million workers were so-called fired. That's 0.5%. That's what? 0.5% is about 120,000. Who cares? Close enough for government work, right? So with that said, the private sector, by the way, just to let you know, the so-called firing rate is about 3%. So you're actually telling me that the government workers are 6 times more competent than the so-called private sector workers. It just doesn't make sense. Federal governments have
not possible.
It's not possible, exactly. Federal government has no accountability. That's the problem.
All right. I see the email coming in already. All right. Shares of home building companies surging today after a government report showed new housing starts jumped sharply in June. The Commerce Department says builders began to work on 629,000 homes last month. That's more than 14.5% increase from May. Good news. It's the biggest increase since the recession ended. Yu-Dee, isn't this fantastic?
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, it's good news. Basically, this so-called recovery that we've been having lacked 2 important ingredients: jobs and housing. The housing start does bring jobs, so that's a good thing. However, just don't be too over-optimistic yet, right? 2 months of data does not make a trend. And also the problem is that with housing, you still have this glut of supplies out there. You have competition from foreclosures. So don't expect the housing market to fully recover until about 2014.
Amelia.
Yeah, and don't forget, we still have very high unemployment. So you get people who are continually to struggle each and every month to make those mortgages. So I see another wave of homes going into foreclosure.
Another wave, Andy?
Well, I'm hoping that this means that people are feeling better about the economy, so they're taking risks and buying houses they can't afford, so maybe they can flip them, because my understanding is that works out great for everyone.
Yeah, everybody, and the economy booms.
Yeah, so
and then it busts.
fingers crossed.
All right, okay. Well, the ultra-exclusive East End of Long Island, known as the Hamptons, is experiencing a real estate boom like no other. Seems hedge funders and other Wall Street types are buying up everything with home sales. Look at this. Who buys that? Come on. Up an astonishing 59% from the first quarter to second quarter this year. And the average price, just shy of $1 million. And is that your house, Andy?
Yeah, I wish. I think the lesson we can learn from this story is that when the federal government disperses $4.7 trillion to an industry, people in that industry are going to get themselves some nice summer homes. So I am just glad to see that our bailout money is going to a good cause.
Exactly. Amelia, what do you say?
Well, you know what I find interesting was how many outside investors we have. A lot of the Russians and a lot of people from overseas are actually investing in our prime real estate, which I don't like at all.
Wow. Okay. Yu-Dee, do you agree with that? Why not have Russians buying these big houses? No, why not?
I want one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Because you want one.
Okay.
No, actually, it's actually not bad. I mean, seriously, would you prefer actually all this bailout money going to the Hamptons or going to French Riviera or even Singapore? So I think it's not bad, actually. They're at least spending the money domestically. And also, don't forget, we're talking about the ultra high end. You know, you're not even thinking about the lower end. In Hamptons, of course, the $1 million houses, they're also going up too.
All right.
I would have preferred the bailout money not go anywhere.
Or there
How
to
about
be
into
no
business?
bailout.
How about into businesses? Where it
If,
belongs?
I mean, but if they're going to get it, yeah, put it back into the business, but maybe just don't give it to them.
I think the Willis watchdog should have gotten a big piece of that bailout.
Absolutely.
All right.
Barbecue.
Yu-Dee, Amelia, Andy, thanks so much for helping us out today. Great job. All right. Did you know you could experience a financial midlife crisis? Well, you can, and guess what? It's not pleasant. Find out what it is and how you can avoid it next.